Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. It's been a great week, and most of the setups from last week have played out perfectly. Almost 95% of all the pairs that we analyzed last week have played out perfectly. We're going to go through some of those pairs that we discussed last week and just check how that has gone, how that has gone. I hope you profited from this webinars because it has been very, very accurate. So that is the strategy. It's not me, it's me applying the theory the right way. All right, so first of all, let's start with how you can benefit even better from these videos. You can check out the timestamps. Thank you very much, Harry, for doing this. You're helping everybody here with these timestamps. So if you go to the videos under the description, let me just show you, so somebody else could be watching this for the first time. You go to the Show More tab. If you click on the Show More tab, you will find all these timestamps. So all the pairs that we're going to discuss here today are timestamps. So which means you can specifically go to the pair that you're interested in. You don't have to watch the whole video. You can just watch the specific pairs that you trade. Okay, so I also don't trade every pair. There are only pairs that I'm interested in. So you can also do the same. Just click on the ones that you're interested in. This works amazing. All right. So for the course, our course was supposed to start tomorrow on the 4th of March, but we're going to push the course up by 1 week. So which means the course is only going to start the week of the 11th. All right. So that's because I wanna spend a bit of time with the group. This week we've got some amazing setups playing out, so we wanna focus on the market analysis than the course. So the course will still happen. Members that are joining the course already have the videos, so they can watch the videos of the previous courses in the meantime. So that gives you a bit more time to do that as well. All right. So if you want more information about the course, under the description again of all the videos, you will find my contact details, preferably the email, which is vmanena@gmail.com, my number, my mobile number, which you can use for either WhatsApp or Telegram, preferably WhatsApp. You can use it there. All right, and then the Telegram channel, really you won't find anything there other than the updates of when the webinars are going to be. So you find the links there. So there isn't setups or anything there. If you want to find me on TradingView, that is my link on there. You won't find me on TradingView if you just type Victor Manena, because my username is vmanena. So I understand some people have struggled to find me on TradingView. So it's vmanena. That's how you can find me on TradingView, or you can just go through that link. All right, so let's go through what we have been looking at in the last couple of weeks. But before we do that, so let's just look at some trade recaps, some of the pairs that we looked at. We've got some amazing pairs that are playing out well here. So these are our Slack group. So those who have inquired about being on the Slack group, you can only be in the Slack group if you have attended the course. And the course is only for advanced traders. By advanced, we mean somebody who's been trading for some time. I can't really give a time frame because people have got a different understanding. So you must have at least been trading and you have a strategy, but are just not consistently making profits, because this is not for beginners. So even though we do introduction to Forex, but the course is mainly focused on the Elliott Wave theory strategy. So it gives you a specific strategy that you can apply like a formula. Okay, so we've got a specific strategy that you just confirm with 1, 2, 3 that avoids you making a decision. All right, so that is what the course is for. So there has been members with over 10 years experience attending the course that have actually found it beneficial. So it's not for beginners. So if you've never traded before, if you've just seen if you're just seeing a Forex video for the first time now, the course may not be for you. You need to have some trading experience. You need to know what the basics of Forex, and you're just not consistent. You can either be not profitable or not consistently making profit. So that's who the course is intended for, if you're interested in that. Okay. Like I said, you send me an email, you'll get the details such as the timing of the course, the contents, and the schedule of the course. All right, so we looked at some of the trade setups. Trade setup is a channel that we have in Slack that I post my setups. Okay, so we spoke about these setups last week. Okay, we spoke about these setups last week. I'm just gonna look at just one of the main ones that we were looking at. But before, I think let's talk about Bitcoin as well. Okay, so we'll start with Bitcoin because we're going to start with Bitcoin when we start with the analysis. So this was the setup in our group, and that we discussed during the Sunday analysis. Okay, from Bitcoin, we'll go through this analysis as we go on. We focused at all these corrections dropping, all these corrections dropping, all these corrections dropping, and then there was a setup. This is what we call a trade setups. This, as much as you knew the direction, we don't really trade this because it moves very slow, very slow. We wait for the pulsing move. So that's why we got the pulsing move here. You've seen how this has played out from here. That was the setup that we sent in the group. So this has now played out very well, even if it has missed this top here by a few pips and reversed. So we're going to update what the analysis is from Bitcoin after it has done this. So you can just go check your charts. I'm not going to show you the after. You know what has happened. If you trade Bitcoin, you know that it has now made this, and it is now busy with this corrective structure there. So I will update the analysis on that one. All right, so now the next one that we looked at was pound JPY. I emphasized this one during last week's webinar that you are looking for over 1,200 pips to the upside. I show you how these 1,400 pips went in about 20 days of trading. Okay, so this pushed up 1,400 in 20 days of trading. We're expecting the same thing here. We're already 600 pips up. Okay, we're already 600 pips up on this pair. There's only another 600 pips left to go. All right, so that has played out amazingly well. I got a lot of emails and texts, people saying that they've made a lot of money from this one because it was an obvious setup. So this is what we do on in our group. So I post the setup, and when it triggered, I also updated it. This was the update when it was actually setting up. So this was the setup, and when it was about to break, I send it again, and then you can see that it broke from right here. So it was making this flag here. It broke from here. So this stop loss was even further than what we actually put it on here, because after it made a flag, the stop loss was only a few pips below the flag. Okay, so this one has played out amazingly well with just over a 50 pip stop and over 1,200 pips as a profit. So you can imagine what the risk to reward ratio is. Now, this is what happens when you know what you're doing and understand wave analysis. Okay. All right. So those are the setups. So we don't get all of them right. So here was the one here. This was a US dollar ZAR, which we got wrong. When you get something, when you get a pair wrong, there's absolutely nothing wrong. That is part of trading. We don't have the magic. We don't have the magic or the holy grail. So we're still human. We still make mistakes. So US dollar ZAR, I expected that it was going to give us a corrective structure. This was a setup. This was what we were waiting for. We were waiting for it to give us a confirmation for downside. Okay, which it did not. All right, guys, so we're still talking about US dollar ZAR. So this was the expectation on US dollar ZAR, that it was going to correct and come down, which it has not happened. So we did not get this one right, and now it is making this structure here like this. So we're going to update what US dollar ZAR is gonna do from there. All right, so those are the pairs that we looked at, and most of the pairs you saw on the videos, what we were looking at. So another amazing one that has played out, that is playing out well. I think I don't know if I mentioned during the webinar last week that if this goes to this level, I was going to put in a buy order. It did not quite get to that level. Let's just make this a little bit thicker. It did not quite get to this level. Okay, it has missed it by a few pips, so the buy order was not triggered. But even if it was not triggered, when it got out of this structure, we were in the trade, and now we've already broken this top. We're a couple of hundred pips up on this one. So this is how it works with the setups in our group. So I do not provide signals. So what I do is I give trade setups if and when they are available, and members that have attended the course know when to take these setups. So this is just an additional assistance that I give to the members, but most of them know how to identify these setups themselves. Okay, that is what the course is for. So that is why I do not let anybody into the group. I don't allow anybody to be a part of the group without attending the course, because you need to understand the strategy before you come in. It is not giving signals, and this does not happen every day. We do this where, if, and when there are great setups playing out. Okay. So that's how it plays. All right. So let's go back to our analysis for today. We're going to now look at, we're going to start with the cryptocurrencies. Everybody happy? Can we get started now? Okay, so I'm going to do a bit of an update on the higher time frame because I've not done it in the last 2 weeks. So this is what we are looking at on Bitcoin. It's a repeat, yes, but let's do it just for clarity's sake. We've got this pulsing move that started and ended in around the end of 2018. Okay, so we have been pulling back with a 3-wave correction from there. We had this 3-wave move here. I'm not going to show the 3 waves, but it is 1, this is 2, and 3. Then it pulled back in this wave. So what we have been looking at since then has been this move here, which I'm going to show in different color. This is 1. Here is a corrective structure in that very same degree. So we are looking for this to have done this move here. Has this move completed to the downside? It does not look so because you have got this corrective structure here. This looks like a continuation pattern here. So if it is a continuation pattern, that means this move is still continuing to the downside. So I was looking for a move here, 1, 2, 3 up. That was that trade that I was giving you here for upside and then come down. So now in the way that it has, okay, we've got the trade, yes, it has reversed where we expected it to reverse, but it has changed the structure slightly. So we're going to update this slight change in structure because I do not think now that it's going to go with this move. So what I think here, and I'm going to show you why, is that this is going to do this, it's going to do that, then come down, then go up, then go all the way up. Not at these levels, guys. So this is not up to scale. What I'm doing here is I'm using an annotation tool with a freehand sketch. So don't look at the levels that I'm showing you here. So like if it's here turning around the 2000, that's not what I'm saying. It's going to come down as close as possible to 0. So this will complete this move, the blue move. Okay. So after the blue move is completed, then we are going to expect. So this one should actually be in the red. So we're going to have this one doing this red move, which is this one. Just note that this red, I'm supposed to be drawing it here. I just don't want to make the structure look funny. So we'll draw it here. So this can return 10 here and make a running flat, or it can even break here and make an expanding flat. So either way, it doesn't really matter. So we are going to be looking for this move lastly after this one is played out, and then we're going to start looking for the big move to the upside here, which is this one. Okay, so that will also depend. I think I've shown you that this move may not be the pulsing move that we're all expecting that has played out like this. So this may be another corrective move that takes as long as this one, can do exactly the same thing and give us something like this one, and give us, even though the structure may not be exactly the same, it may do this something similar and then go up like that. Okay, so that will be a 1, 2, 3 this side, 1, 2, 3 this side, going and retest the top, come back down, and then go. So that is just a very long-term focus. But that is the advantage that the Elliott wave theory gives you. You can focus this long-term. But for now, we know that when this move to the downside, we're looking for the swing down to end. When this move to the downside ends, we know that we're going to go up. But the question is, are we going to go up with an impulse, or we're going to go up correctively? Either way, we know where the move is going to be. If you're going out correctively, then this means that it will be an impulsive move down, and then we're going to get this one. So you can see that this can take a couple of months or even a couple of years. All right, so let's update the short term now. Let's forget about the focus. That's still very far. Let's look at what the short term is now, and I'm going to come down to this level here. So let's go to the 4-hour chart and look at that green degree there. Let's go to the 4-hour. So Bitcoin is very clear. It's very clear. So now, remember what I've been saying since the beginning of the year. We have been looking for this one. We had this pulsing move here. So when we started the year, first webinar in the second week of January, we had this corrective structure. We said it's going to drop, which it did. Second week of the webinar, we had this corrective structure, which we said it's going to drop. It did. Third time again, you never thought it was going to happen the fourth time, but it did again the fourth time, and then it dropped. So we focused on all these 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive weeks, focusing these moves to the downside. But it does not mean we're trading all of this. We trade the pulsing moves. So as you've seen, when we were doing the focus, we said when these breaks out of here, we are looking for the move here to come and retest this top here. Okay. That is the move that was that I've shown you on the trade setup. So now that move has happened, and now we're looking for this downside. Now this has changed this move slightly, because now I think that what is going to happen now is, as much as we've got this move here, you may have this one now coming all the way down, right, and then going from there. Or alternatively, you could have this one doing whatever it's doing here, which is the corrective structure, coming back to retest the low here. Okay, I think let me just move the chart so I can show you, so it can be a little bit clearer. And you need to expect these possibilities. So this is the move here. You had this corrective structure here. This was your corrective structure. We're going to mark it in green. Okay. And now we expected that this move was going to be the yellow degree. But is it the yellow degree? It may not be the yellow degree. If it is the yellow degree, then it's actually not going to be the yellow degree, because this structure that it has formed now. So this is the reason why I'm disqualifying the fact that it's going to go up from this, from here, because now it has made this structure. Okay, now look at this structure. If you look at this structure, this is not in the Elliott wave theory. Let me show you what is not in the Elliott wave theory. This structure. I've heard some people talk about a contracting flat. You don't find a contracting flat in the Elliott wave theory. Go and read the theory. If you find a contracting flat, let me know. So this structure, can you see that this is a contract? This is contracting here. It's contracting both sides, top and bottom. This structure you don't find in the Elliott wave theory. So that's why we do not trade this so-called contracting flat that a lot of people have asked me about. So this is why I am now going to disqualify this structure. We're not going to look at it like that, because it does not exist. It is not part of the wave theory. I trade the theory as is. Okay, so now let's have a look here what we think is going to happen. So this structure does not exist, right? So what structure exists? The structure that exists here is that you've got here, we could be having here, let's show it in red, the one, trade cleanly to remove this. So this is the structure that you should now expect. You've got a move, you've got a move, you've got a move. So that could be a structure that you would want to expect. And that will be a regular flat. Now we will know a regular flat. This one will need to come at this level. So if that is the structure, now we're going to expect this move. Up, down, you see here? So we're going to still expect down here first, go up. Now, if we get that, then if it is a valid Elliott wave structure. So this is a valid Elliott wave structure. This one here, this one. Now from there, it can drop and then go. Okay, so that makes sense. So we don't trade anything that is not in the theory. So what the expectation will be for us to get that last move to the downside, and then that move that we're expecting to go and retest the previous high at 20,000. Okay, so that is what we're expecting. But the short-term move, even if that is the forecast, is that you are making a corrective structure now. This is your corrective structure. You've got a pulsing move here. You are making this corrective structure. What you could be getting here is something like this. Now, if you get something like this, then that means that this move can still make a move there and then come back and then still go down. So that will not change the structure at all. Right, so now let me just go to the 1 hour as well so you can see this clearly. Now, on the 1 hour, you see that we've got this move here. This is one single move, one here. Okay, you've got a pulsing move here. Okay, you've got this looking like a corrective structure. So what could be happening here is this. You could be getting that, and then you can be getting the drop here. So keep an eye on this corrective structure in the lower degree. That will be giving you the trade to the downside. May not be the fastest one, okay, but that is the structure as you should look at it. And that's Bitcoin. Now looking at Litecoin. Litecoin, let's go 4 hour now. I'm not going to go into the high time frame on this one. But just the forecast here, just to show you the forecast here, was that the Litecoin was going to reverse at this, let's just show you here, at the blue box. We had forecasted that it was going to reverse at the blue box. It has made this structure here. It has made a 3-wave move. After a 3-wave move, you're expecting a 3-wave correction. So that is what we're expecting on Litecoin. Now let's have a look at it on the 4 hour and see if we're getting that that move. So that's on the 4 hour on Litecoin. Let's have a look at it here. Switch off all the labelings here. Okay, so Litecoin, you remember we were forecasted that this is going to be a 1, it's going to be a 2, it's going to be a 3-wave move. Okay, don't know if I focused the blue box there. I should have shown the blue box here, but we didn't do that. That's fine. Now you've got a pulsing move. You've got this one looking correctively here, same as what you're getting on Bitcoin. So we'll be expecting that it does something like this. Okay, so this one can come back here and make this corrective structure. Will that be enough to make another three-way move up? But for now, just focus on getting the move to the downside here. Just be careful here. This is not a trade setup, so this one can keep crawling up to this level and make this corrective structure. So either way, we still want to get a corrective structure. When it's complete, you will know. All right. That's Litecoin. Looking at Ethereum. Ethereum similar. So Ethereum is similar to Bitcoin. 1, 2. Difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin is that Ethereum has broken the previous high. Bitcoin did not. That's why we invalidated that structure. It does not exist. But even here, there is no such structure that you find in the electric theory that looks like this. You don't find this structure. We cover all the corrective structure in our course. So whichever that we do not cover, we don't trade because it does not exist. So this also is not an Elliott wave structure. What structure what would you call this? Okay, so now we've made a 1, we've made a 2, we've made a 3. So this is not complete as yet. So we're coming down with a pulsing move. We're going to update the structure and see what it is forming. It could be forming a different structure in the lower degree. So for now, you've got a pulsing move up. And it could be doing the corrective structure like this, and we come down here like this. So the possibilities are that if this is all the red degree, this is all the red degree, and then your yellow degree is going to be in this fashion. Then we go up same way as Bitcoin. So now that will be a W, that will be your WXY move. Let's just move here. I just want to move my annotation tool here. It's on my space. So that will be a 1, 2, 3 wave move up, W, 1, 2, 3 wave move down, X, and then 1, 2, 3. You'll expect a 3 wave move up here. That will make a Y, and then complete the move to the downside. Okay, that will be the last move as close as possible to 0. That's why I've been saying in the last couple of weeks, it could be almost time to be holding the cryptocurrencies long term. So let's see how this one plays out. So for now, you're looking for this corrective structure, not a clear trade setup either here. Okay, so let's see how this one goes here. All right, that is Ethereum on the 4-hour. Okay, so you've got a clear pulsing move here on Ethereum, corrective structure. How far will this go? Can you just do this and carry on to the move to the downside? It's very possible. Okay. Using is asking from the yellow, why go down in 3 or 5? Let me just go back here because I've already got that off. Let me see if I can bring it up. From the yellow Y, it can be 3 or 5 depending on the structure. It can be 3 or 5. Okay, we'll update that as it happens. Okay. All right, that is Ethereum, and lastly on the cryptos is XRP, which is Ethereum Ripple. Now Ripple, we're still looking at that structure. Let me look at this one in the 8-hour. Maybe it's going to be a little bit clearer. So you've got this here on Ripple. Looks like it wants to break down here and eventually come back to that level that we are looking for. I'm looking for Ripple to come and retest this level. Let me just make sure that it is the right level that I've got there. Yes, it is the right level. I've been looking for Ripple to come back to this level. This level here. Okay. So then now we're looking, let's go closer to this and see if we're going to reach that level. Let's just mark that level and see. Let's see there. Okay, I had already marked it. I had already marked that level. So just going to remove it again. Okay, I'll show you why we wanted to reset that level. It is not a support or resistance level. I like to call it a structural level. There is a difference. I don't trade support or resistance. They just never worked for me. So now we've got this corrective structure on Ripple. It's a 1, 2, 3 wave move up. So this one could come eventually to this level. Okay, and then we're going to expect this move to our upside and then down before we go. So let me show you why I wanted to come to this level to make this structure here. That will be a 1, that will be a 2, that is a 3. Why are we looking for this 1, 2, 3 move? That's an ABC structure. I'm going to show you here now on the daily. Okay, I think I've shown this one a couple of times as well. Nothing has changed from last year's analysis on this pair. So this is what we're looking at. If you look at that labeling there, it's showing you that we've got the pulsing move that started with the rest of the cryptos that ended towards the end of 2018. We made a pullback in 3 waves. 1, we made a 3-wave corrective structure. 2, we made another 3-wave structure. 1, 1, 2, we're expecting 1, 2, 3 there. Now this makes a 3-wave move down W, a corrective structure X, a 3-wave move down Y, a corrective structure X. So I'm looking for this one to test here and can give me this move. So we'll be looking for this move short term on Ripple, and then after that we'll expect then that Ripple will give us this move down as close as possible to 0 and then up. So if I've got here below 0, guys, please just ignore that. I'm not expecting any cryptocurrency to go below 0. So here you've got a clear corrective structure here in 3 waves. You've got a clear corrective structure in 3 waves. Let me draw it the same way as the other one. So this is a 3-wave move here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and that is what this one looks like. Spending a bit of time on the cryptos, guys, because they're setting up very nicely. That's why I'm even starting the analysis with the cryptos these days. So this becomes now a clear 3-wave move down W, X, Y, X, Z. It's an 11-string sequence. Okay, there are 11 strings here in total. All right, so what is the next move? We're expecting this, we're expecting down, and then the move to the upside. All right. Okay, so let's go to the indices. See, there's something on the chat box. All right, so let's just use in. Right, so the indices, let's look at the S&P 500. The indices, guys, there isn't really any new update here. I'm just going to show you here. You are only looking for continuation patterns. You're only looking for continuation patterns, and you're looking for these structures here. Every time you get corrective structures, you're getting a push higher. Every time you get corrective structures, you're getting a push higher. I've just said here, when we started the move to the upside, I'm looking for them to break to new highs, and that has now happened from around 230s area. We're now in the 280s. Okay, so many points to the upside, over 4,000 points on the S&P 500. Okay, it's the same thing on the Dow, on the Dow and the NASDAQ. We'll look at it just now. So this was the structure that we were looking for. This is a wave 4. If you look at the previous videos, you'll see why this is our wave 4 in blue degree. Okay, it is in the blue degree, and we're looking for a 5. So this is why, when this was crashing here, never expected that this was going to crash. I expected that this was going to make a corrective structure and push higher. Okay, so now look for corrective structure. Look for corrective structures and look for this one to just keep going. Okay, now let's just look in the in the lower degree here. See how you can enter these ones here if you wanted to trade. So every time they make corrective structures like this, it's an opportunity to enter corrective structures like this. So this is not just a single corrective structure. You can see that's a 3-wave structure here, a regular flat there. Even this one has got a gap on it, but it's a corrective structure. All right, so now you made this one was textbook 1, but the problem with this, or the challenge with this, is that it has already moved so far. At some point, you're going to get a deeper pullback. Okay, deeper pullback. You don't know how far this pullback is, but you will be able to focus the correction and the sequence of the correction when it starts. Okay, so that's how easy the indices are. It's all just continuation to the upside. So that is the S&P 500, the Dow, similar, exactly the same structure that on the Dow. You can see here an expanding flat, same as what you have here. The move coming down here. Here, an expanding flat breaks the top, breaks the low. That is expanding flat. We focused this, all of this, when it was happening, and now you're all the way up. You're very close to the new highs that we focused when I didn't focus these new highs when we were going all up here. I focused that we are going to crash and we're going to go to new highs. That is what the wave theory gives you, the power that the wave theory gives you. Okay, we're just not we just don't. I just don't like bragging. Somebody once said that bragging is conceit. If it is that good, let others brag for you. So it's not about showing off. It's not about proving anybody wrong. It's about making money for all of us at the end of the day. And if it benefits you and if you learn from something from it, that is the whole idea. Okay, so that's what we're looking at here. Get corrective structures and push. If this helps you, keep watching the videos and benefit from it. If not, then you've got an option not to watch the video if they are useless. All right. Okay, so that is what we're looking at here. Looking to push higher on the Dow, the NASDAQ, the same. The only difference with the NASDAQ, let's look at the NASDAQ, between the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 with the Dow, is that this structure on the NASDAQ, this structure is not an expanding flat. It breaks the rules. It breaks the rules and the guidelines. This one breaks above the guideline here, and it breaks below the guidelines. That's why we don't look at it as an expanding flat. We're looking at this one as a single corrective structure with a simple zigzag here and a push higher. We've got this move here. So look for corrective structures to the upside to break the previous highs. Okay, you've been on an up from the beginning of the year. December last year, we were crashing. It looks like we were crashing. In inverted commas, the whole year you've never had any significant pullback. Otherwise, it's just small pullbacks for continuation to the upside. Okay, so keep an eye on this. At some point, you may get a deeper corrective structure that will enable those who couldn't get it from the bottom to ride the trend. Okay, so that is the NASDAQ. Let's look now at UK 100. UK 100. Now the UK 100 also focused that it was going to reverse exactly where it has reversed. This blue box I showed from last year. We went into the blue box, and now we've come out of the blue box. Now it looks like it is making a 1, 2, 3. We're going to have a 5 here. That's the reason why I'm saying we're going to have a pullback at some point on the indices, is because of this. You've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure here. After that, you need to have a pullback. This may not be a pullback, guys. The reason, and this is what I mean every time, and I'll show you with an example on oil. I think there's somebody who commented on oil that is not pushing high, and I'm going to show you how you can watch this. So sometimes when you do not have the background, you may be confused a little bit. I'll show you that. So this is what could happen. So I would show you here that you're going to have a corrective structure, right? Something like this. But what corrective structure is this? That is what I do not show. Okay, so what if this is a zigzag? If it's a zigzag, you're going to have something like this. But what if this is a flat? What if this is a flat? If it is a flat, I'm giving a bit of education here. If it is a flat, then this is not going to, it's just going to go sideways like that. Maybe a regular flat or an expanding flat, you see. So that's why when I show you this structure, I'm just going to say corrective structure. What if it is a triangle? If it is a triangle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up, you see it's going to go sideways. So I will just show you a simple flag here to show that there's a corrective structure, but you still need to understand which corrective structure is going to play out here. That is what you cannot forecast beforehand. Okay, so if it is a flag like this, then you anticipate any of the corrective structures that Elliott has identified for us. See, simple, eh? 1, 2, 3, 4. We're looking for a 5, and then looking for a deeper one. Okay, that will correct the whole move. Okay, that is a UK 100. Nikkei. So the Nikkei, same. Nikkei is even clearer than any of the structures. Look at this on the Nikkei. We knew that it was going to push higher. Focused that also. 1, 2, 3. Look at this. 1, 2, 3. It's wave analysis. These waves. 1, 2, 3. Everything fits snugly, nothing forced. Now you've got to move to the upside. Okay. It looks like this move has started as a 1, 2. Can this be the third wave? Okay. Can this be going up in 5 waves? It should be going in 5 waves because that's what we expect anyway for it to go to the wave 5. So now what you have here is a textbook expanding flat. And this expanding flat is not a 5. Okay, let's give you a bit of education. You know that a flat correction is supposed to have a 3, 3, 5 structure, but this structure has got a 3, 3, 3. There is a difference between the two. And this is something that we spend the whole day showing during the course, the difference between a WXY and an ABC structure. Okay, so this is an expanding flat. Okay, this is a WXY structure. Okay, and we're looking for these to push higher. There's a difference between when it's a ABC, when it's a WXY. All right, so now this is the Nikkei we're looking for push higher. It has already broken out of the structure. Continuation, look for deep for corrective structures for upside. That is the Nikkei. And the DAX, same. So the DAX here, we have a blue box there. So DAX also, we focused that it's going to be at that blue box. You can see that it has reversed at the blue box. Okay, you've got your 1, 2, 3 wave move there in the blue box. Pushed it a little bit lower than the blue box, but it is still within the range. And now we're getting this move to the upside. That's why I'm saying there's no new update on the indices, guys. We're just looking for continuation to the upside. Every time you get a corrective structure, look for upside. All right, that is the DAX. All right, and lastly, we do the Nifty. Nifty, I showed you this structure that is currently happening here. Let's show you again. Now it's even clearer on the Nifty. You've got a 3-wave move up here, corrective structure. You've got 3-wave move up here, okay? And now you're coming down with this 3-wave move here. It looks like it's making a 3-wave move here. You've got this one here. You could be getting something like this here. A little bit of a push higher, a pullback here, making this correction that will correct everything here, and you get a move to the upside that will possibly go and retest the previous high here. So watch this structure on the Nifty for upside. Whether it's going to retest this top here, that's what you do not know for now. But this is not a clear trade setup at this stage. All right. Tamsanga Mishak, how about analysis on one pair from scratch till you take a trade? That is what we do in the course. Okay, we do that in the course. So here I just go through about 40 pairs. Overview, you only seeing the front end. So the detailed analysis, you see, we do that in the course. Okay, so we've got days where we do historical analysis. We take a naked chart from historical data all the way down to the 1 hour time frame, sometimes even the 15-minute time frame if the pair allows. So that is the Nifty, and for my Indian traders that I like to check the structure for, there is the Sun Pharmaceutical. We've got now this move here. Last week we were having this pullback here that looked corrective. So this is like a 3-wave move here. So what you could be getting here is another structure like this. So let's see how that plays out. So you could be getting something like this, another 3-wave move here, making this a WXY structure, making this whole thing a corrective structure. Okay, so I was responding for the benefit of those that are watching the video. Meshach was saying, why don't I do one pair from scratch all the way down up until I take a trade? So the response was that we do that in the course. We don't do this here. So this is just an overview, to give you an overview on all the pairs, so we can cover almost everyone who trades the pairs here. So we're doing the most common pairs here. So now we're going to look for this one to come down after that. Okay, so that is the Sun Pharmaceutical. Now let us now go to the major pairs. Start with the Euro US dollar. Okay, start with the Euro US dollar. Euro US dollar. Let's look at the major pairs. Euro US dollar. Now Euro US dollar, let's look at the daily first. Now we are looking at this structure on Euro US dollar. It's going to be a little bit tricky. Let me bring Euro US dollar and the DXY at the same time, because there's something a little bit tricky about these two pairs. Let me use this one. When I look at the two pairs, and the focus is showing me same direction, they're supposed to be opposite direction. So let's have a look at both of them. So bottom, let's look at the DXY. So we're going to look at this correlation. Right. Now if you look at these two structures, let's see if we can make it a little bit bigger. Stretch it a bit. I want to specifically look at the last piece here. Right, so this is what it looks like. So Euro Okay, I'm going to show the overall structure after we've shown this piece here. I want to look at this piece on both. This piece on both. Okay, so this is what we're going to be looking at next week. So you've got here a 1, 2, 3 wave here on the euro. You also have the same here, a 1, 2, 3 waves on the DXY. So now that becomes a structure, a single wave structure. Now what the forecast was here is that this is a 3 wave move. That is now correcting this 3 wave move. And we also have the same thing here, 3 wave move here, right? So I expected that this was going to possibly give us a 1, 2, 3 wave move to the top here. Same thing on the DXY. I expected that this was going to give us another 1. Sorry, in a different color. It has to be yellow. Another 1, 2, 3 wave move to the downside. What will that do? It will give you this structure. It does not have to be this structure exactly. It can be an expanding one or a regular flat. So that will be the structure. That will be the structure here as well. Okay, even though that one will be slightly different, it will be something like this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, regular flat and a zigzag. That's the difference. So now what does that become? Now it becomes 1, 2, 3 up, W, 1, 2, 3 down, X, 1, 2, 3 up, Y. So in the next coming session, what you could be having here on the euro, it's either this will be pulling back and this one pulling up. When that corrective structure is done, it will come down. This one comes back up here. Okay, so that is what we're looking at. And alternatively, this looks very corrective now. So you need to watch when this comes down here. This looks very corrective here. This should have been a pulsing move because we're expecting a 1, 2, 3. So this went correctively. Alternatively, this could be coming here to retest this level because it didn't touch it the previous time. The same thing here, you could be getting this one here. So watch, if you get a pulsing move here, you will be coming to retest that level. And if that is the move that's going to happen, we're going to update the structure. So look at the two alternatives like that. All right, that is euro and the DXY. Now let's look at the rest of the US dollar pairs. Okay, before I do that, I can just look at the euro 4 hour so you can see what to expect. So you need to watch this corrective structure here. So what you need to watch out here is that this has gone up in 3 waves. It has gone up in 3 waves. 1, 2, 3, and now it's correcting. It is correcting with this move. Now this move could break out and give us that 3 wave move, the other 3 wave move that we're expecting, which is 1, 2, 3 up, correction, 1, 2, 3 up, making this a WXY structure that is going to be part of the whole move. Yeah, like that. So let's watch how this plays out in the next coming sessions. This will be critical to see how this corrective structure plays out. US dollar CAD. Hey, so US dollar CAD, I've said this a number of times, that this structure on US dollar CAD is not going to come down like that. Go watch the videos that we discussed. So we've got a move here that has come down. So what I said when this was coming down is that you've got a pulsing move. It is almost guaranteed. I've said this one during the week in our group every single day. I said you've got a pulsing move. This is a corrective structure. Let's see what the corrective structure is. You've got 1, 2, 3 down there. This is the orthodox lows. So this actually becomes a 1, it's a 2, it's a 3. Right, so you've got a corrective structure. So this needed to break out. This needed to break out. There's no two ways about it. It had to. So now we've got a move to the upside. Possibility that this is going to break up here and then come down. Now, with this move, not with that degree, but rather with this one. Okay, so now that becomes, we will move 1, 2, 3. Let's see what happens when this pushes up higher. All right, so today I'm going to look at oil with the US dollar CAD because there's a clear correlation about this with oil and US dollar CAD. So let's bring oil at the bottom. Oh, yes, let's bring it at the bottom. I'm going to bring Brent crude. Let's look at oil. Okay, so oil, we're gonna look on, okay, so that's, both of them has made, so up top here is US dollar CAD. Bottom, I want crude in the 4-hour. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. So now look at this interesting correlation. What am I focusing on US dollar CAD? I've got two that we focus that we're gonna have this correction. I wanted to just break up a little bit here and come down because it has made one correction and looking for downside. Now oil has made a move up here. It has made the same corrective structure but in the opposite direction. Now this is what I'm expecting on oil, a bit of a pullback, make a correction and then push higher again. Okay, so that is the focus. What did I say last week on oil? On oil last week when we were here, I said this is going to make a corrective structure. So remember here, this is what I said. So what I was saying about corrective structure, I didn't say which corrective structure it's going to be. Now look which one it has made. It has made this corrective structure. It looks like it's going to be a zigzag. Okay. So I will never say which corrective structure it's going to be. You can only see that after it has played out, but you will know that it's a corrective structure. What you can forecast is possibly the degree that it could be. The degree that it could be, you can focus, but you can't forecast which one it's going to be. But you know that it's going to be a three-wave structure. Okay, so that is a US dollar CAD, and that is the forecast on oil. We're looking for this one to do that. Do that. Okay. So push up higher. All right, so let's go to the rest of the pairs. Let's go back to one chart. Now, looking at US dollar CHF, US dollar and the CHF are at parity at this stage. That means they've got the same value. All right, so now I'm looking here at US dollar and the CHF. This is going to push a little bit higher. Okay, so if this pushes higher, remember what we looked at the euro. So then that means that the euro will do that move. Will give us the move. Let's just go get the euro up. That means that the euro will give us a bit of a correction here. So while it is pulling back, US dollar CHF will be pushing higher. Let's go to US dollar CHF again. So if we get the breakout here, so now you need to look at them both. Remember, I showed two alternatives. So the one alternative on the euro may be invalidated if US dollar CHF starts making a pulsing move to the upside here. Then if it does this, then that means the euro is going to start with a move to that pulling back move C. So now that is why you cannot trade the market in isolation. You need to look at these correlations as well. So this will be a good indicator of which alternative to look out for on euro US dollar. Okay, so look at them both. That's US dollar CHF. Now we look at pound US dollar. Pound US dollar is very interesting now. Okay, very interesting now. Let's see what we have here. I showed you two things that could be happening here. We were looking at this as an expanding flat. It has completed the expanding flat. Broke the low, broke the top. Could this now be the end of the move and this structure is done and now we're coming down? That will only be confirmed in the next session. We've got a pulsing move down, which does not mean anything on its own. If you get a corrective structure here, you can look to enter pound for downside. But you need to be careful also, because if it can just do this and make another push higher. Okay, so you need to get a clear pulsing move bigger than what you have, or you can take this one and manage it. Okay, manage it by moving your stop to break even. You need to know when to move to your stop to break even. Okay, that's not something that we discuss here. All right, otherwise it's going to be a lengthy video. In any case, it's for the benefit of the guys that are in the group. So you need to be careful of this, because that could be the structure. But otherwise, it could even be the continuation of this move, this correction, and then we continue. All right. So let me show this one on the daily. So on the daily, we had this move here. This is the expanding flat that we looked at. And that is what we have. If it is an expanding flat, we're going to get a move that will go and retest the low here. Okay, otherwise, this could also be a structure like this, where this is not an expanding flat, this is like a short zigzag. This one comes and make this corrective structure, comes back here and make a bigger flat correction. So this is a long-term forecast. Let's see if we're getting any signs of reversal here. As far as our strategy is concerned, the trend is still up there. The trend is still pretty much up on the pound. Let's have a look here. This does not mean anything at all. This candle does not mean anything. Okay, so let's watch and see how this is going to play out for now. All right, we'll look at the rest of the pound pairs just to see what the forecast is going to be in the next coming sessions. AUD US dollar before we do ZAR. AUD US dollar. Okay, so AUD US dollar, I showed this corrective structure last week. It's going to come back down at least. We've got a pulsing move. We're going to expect a 1, 2, 3 wave before we push higher. Okay, so this is what I showed on the 4-hour last week. Where's my labeling? Okay, so last week, this was the structure. The structure was like this. It was before we broke down there. Okay, I expected it to break down from there. And you see how the structure has changed now. The structure has changed slightly now to make something like this. Now, this becomes a 3-wave structure that looks like this: a 1, a 2, and a 3. Okay, now internally there, you've got what we like to call a complex B correction. So that is still a corrective structure, and that will now look something like this: pulse, correction, and a pulse before we go up. Okay, so that is your move up, correction, and then we look to go upside. That's what you're looking at there. Very clear structure, only when you understand the B correction. All right, so now that will become an A, B, C structure. So expect a little bit of a push down here on AUD. So if you're expecting a push down now, that's confirming that the Euro US dollar will now get that pullback to the downside. Watch this one. New Zealand. So New Zealand, let's have a look here. My forecast has disappeared here on the New Zealand. Okay, so New Zealand, let me show you here what I expect here. So New Zealand, I expect it to drop slightly. I expect it to come back up. I expect it to come back down with this move. Look at this carefully. You've got 1 here, you've got 2 there. I expect it to come down with this move. I expect this now within the correction, and these moves are only for forecasting purposes, not necessarily for trading. Now you look for that move. You've started with this big one. Now you've got this one here, and you see. Okay, and if you see this here, you see that you've got a corrective structure in red there. Let me show it in blue. Mark it in blue so it's not confusing. Mark it in blue. That is a corrective structure 1, 2, 3. Now you've got another corrective structure here in pink, or purple rather. 1, 2, 3. That is the forecast. 1, 2, 3. Now you've got this one big blue one that makes a 1. The whole thing becomes a 2 and a 3. Okay, the yellow also, there's also a yellow, a 1, 2, and a 3. Okay, a 1 and a 2 and a 3. Now we remember you started with this move. This was the move initially. This was the initial move. So you'll expect something like this. That is how we forecast the waves. And we don't just forecast them like this. You need to understand the sizes and the fib levels as well. Now this becomes a big ABC corrective structure. And you can go in lower, lower, and lower. This is a WXY. There's always going to be a difference. This one is also another WXY in the yellow. But we'll use green to label it. It's also a WXY. So you'll expect 3 waves there. And then the red is, let's look at the red. The red is an ABC move. Let's label it with white. This is an ABC structure. So it is very critical to understand which one is an A, which one is a W. and that is a whole day we spent showing that in the course. So that is the structure that we're looking at on New Zealand. That is the detail. You can take a snapshot and watch how this develops in the next coming sessions. And this is what it looks like without all these labelings. Okay, this would be something like this. That's the structure. All right, so that's New Zealand. No new trade for now. Just expect this one to drop slightly more. That is the next move. Of all those moves that I've shown you, the next immediate move is the one that's coming to retest down here. That's New Zealand. And now let's look at the US dollar ZAR. US dollar ZAR. So I thought US dollar ZAR was going to make us, let me show you why. I showed you the trade that we didn't get right on US dollar ZAR, and now we're going to show you what the thinking was there, what the analysis was there on US dollar ZAR. So we looked at this as a one running flat there in the middle. 1, 2, 3. Okay. No, that's not correct. That's not what we looked at. It was 1 running flat, 2, 3. Okay. This one made a corrective structure there. And I expected that we're going to get another move like that, like similar to what we have there. So this was my forecast when I posted that setup. This is what I was expecting, that we're going to get another move here. Then we're going to get the upside. Okay? Then we're going to get the upside, which started here. And the whole thing becomes a W, X, Y. But now it looks like it's not playing out. We're not going to get this one more done because that is not the structure that it's making. Well, now, which structure is it making? Let's have a look at this one. Even though the degree may seem a little bit smaller compared to that one, this is what it looks like. This one has made now, it already is 1, 2, 3 waves, it seems. And now we're looking for this one to go up like that. Okay, so let's see if this is actually the Y and that is completed. Alternatively, if this looks a little bit bigger, what we could have here is that this is actually our 1, 2, 3 there. Oh, it's actually right now, that one won't be valid. So let's look for this one to go upside here from here. We've got a pulsing move, we've got a corrective structure, okay? And this is on the 4 hour, you've got a pulsing move. Now we need to get another corrective structure, especially clearing this one out here, could be retesting the 1550 area. Okay. We are going towards the election in the next couple of weeks, so there's going to be a lot of volatility on the US dollar ZAR and uncertainty on the ZAR. So this can take us back to the previous high at 1550.16. Okay, so let's watch here. If we get a corrective structure and clearing this level here, will be home and dry to go back to the 1560 area. US dollar ZAR. Now let us look at the pound pairs. Let's look at the pound pairs. Now this was one of those trades that is going amazingly well. Somebody actually commented on the video on YouTube when I posted this one here, this is gonna go 1,000 pips, 1,200 pips. I can't remember how many, but it's something like 1,000 pips to the downside. Okay, there's nothing wrong with having an opinion there. Maybe if you are saying that it's going to go the opposite way, just say which strategy you are using and what you're looking at. Okay, because what I'm looking at here is simply wave theory. Right, so this is what we had, and I showed you this one during trade setups. 1, 2, 3. We've got this corrective structure. I said we have break out of here. You're getting 1,200 pips. Okay, are we going to get there? That's the expectation. If we don't, you already have 600 pips. You should have protected about 400 pips by now. Okay, so you can never lose this trade now. It should be on break even. Okay, you're still holding, looking for the rest of the 600 pips. Back up to 156. It can even go beyond. Okay, so keep an eye on that, on this one. There is no sign of reversal as yet. There's still no sign of reversal. This is not a sign of reversal. It doesn't mean anything at all. If you look at it at the daily, it just looks like a small candle there. See there, nothing to indicate reversal there. Instead, what you could have here, no, not even at that point. Let's show something here. I'll show next week. You could have another. Next week, when we update this, you could be having an almost guaranteed trade within the trade. Okay, an almost guaranteed trade within this trade that is currently running. If we get a corrective structure at current levels, this corrective structure will guarantee you that you're coming down up to this level. I will update that next week, or if that sets up, I will post it on TradingView. Okay, so that trade will be almost guaranteed for the rest of the 600 pips if we start getting a correction at current levels. So let's watch. I will update this one if it plays out. Corrective structure at current levels will take you straight to the 600 pips. Good luck to those that are holding, and if you're not holding, you may get an opportunity to get the remainder of the 600 pips. Okay, remember, it needs to confirm what I'm expecting. I will show this if it plays out on TradingView. I'll post a setup there. All right, so that is a pound JPY. You're just looking for continuation patterns to the upside. USDJPY. It's one of the setups that I showed in the beginning. We're looking to ride this one all the way up. Okay, you've got a simple three-wave structure that you're looking at, and the lower degree is this one here. It's 1, it's a 2, it's a 3, it's a 1, it's a 2, it's a 3, it's 1, it's a 2. That is why I bought here. That is why I bought here and expect the 3. Now let's remove everything. You see how clear this is. Now this is a simple W, no, not in that color, W, X, Y. And you can label the internal structures as well if you wanted to. So it's crystal clear USDJPY. Euro actually mentioned that the yen pairs were going to be pushing up higher last week. Euro, we were here last week. Show you this corrective structure that you're going to buy there. You got another one. You're getting this one to the upside. So now Euro looks like something like this. You've got this. Let me show you something. Let's show something here. Let's check here. Okay, let's switch it off. Euro looks like a move here. It's a motive wave all the way up there, and we cannot look at this as a corrective structure. It does not exist. So that's not a corrective structure. So there's a three-wave move here, and you're looking for this one to go up like that. So there's still continuation to the upside. Okay, there's still continuation to the upside. Corrective structure, expect more continuation to the upside. No sign of reversal on the yen pairs. That's EUROCHF, the same, expecting upside. Now this one has even made a corrective structure here, clear expanding flat there to show us that it was going to push higher, which we saw there as well. Okay, very clear, Chief. Now you just expect continuation, slightly more on Chief as well. Audi. So much clutter there. Before I do Audi, I want to look at New Zealand. Let's see if I can get the New Zealand here. Okay, let's do the CAD first now. The CAD is interesting because last week I said I labeled this ABC, and this is why it is important, critically important, to understand which structure plays out as an ABC and which one plays out as a WXY. Last week I said because I'm labeling this an ABC, I'm going to expect a diagonal here. And now we've got a diagonal. And now this has confirmed that the structure is an ABC move. Okay, now on CAD, you may be getting a pullback here, corrective structure. Okay, so this is what the guidelines help you with. This ABC and the WXY, it will tell you which structure to expect. Okay, we had a pulsing move that ended with a diagonal and the corrective structure. We're labeling it AB because of this nature and this nature. So we knew what the C should look like in terms of the structure. Now it's making a diagonal, so what we're expecting here, we've got a pulsing move here. expect a corrective structure here. So the diagonal on C, you can see that it's a clear 1, it's a 2, it's a 3, it's a 4, it's a 5. The 5 has broken up, has made an overshoot, that's fine. You can label this one if you want. Okay, so it's also a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in green. We can label that one now. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 3 should be here. Let's clear everything there. Textbook stuff. Now you're looking for a corrective structure to correct everything there. Okay, that's CAD. Now, Audi and New Zealand yens. CAD is the only one that looks like it's gonna have some downside. Let me look at this one a little bit closer. I'm just gonna look at the last pieces here. You've got 1, 2, 3 there. It looks like you're getting another 1, 2, 3. You could get another 1, 2, 3, making this a corrective structure that will push you higher. So wait for this structure to play out on Audi. You can get another push to the upside. Okay. Same thing on the New Zealand. You've got a pullback here. Got a pullback, could do something like this. Wait for it to push a little bit higher. Then we'll update the whole structure to see if we're going to get a bigger correction here. All right, so those are the yen pairs. Let's look at silver and gold. Gold, daily. So gold has gone out of the structure. Let's have a look here. Remember the structure that we were looking at gold? We said it looks like a triangle, but it's not really complying to the rules. Right, so this is the structure that we're looking at on gold. So this is the triangle that we're looking at. It did not quite reach there, and you don't force this to be a triangle and start cutting through this here. It has to be a decent triangle without being forced. Okay, so now what you have here is we had a big pulsing move from the top. I'm not gonna show the labeling on with the annotation tool. I'm just gonna show you the corrective structure that is correcting the whole move. We've got a move from the top, and now we have got this one here. So what we know about this pair is that we are looking for this a correction. The correction will correct the whole move here. This whole move. Will it be a triangle? Will it be a flat? Will it be a zigzag? A zigzag is already invalidated here in this case. Okay, so we thought because it's making a three-way move, it's going to give us a triangle. So now let's see what we're going to get, because now we've got a pulsing move here. So if we've got a pulsing move, there's still a possibility that we get a corrective structure here. After getting the corrective structure, you can get another move to the downside. Another move to the downside. Okay, if you get a move like that and this becomes a corrective structure, this can still push higher. Okay, let me remove that boundary. Remember, this is the one that I said it's forced. We don't want it there. So if it is a triangle, it has to be like this. So then this makes a corrective structure and then it goes and retests that. Now, if that happens, then it will be a triangle. Then that will be a valid triangle. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This one is pulsing move. We allow one pulsing move within a triangle. Okay, this will be another 1, 2, 3. There will be A, B, C, D, E, and then you get that move before you get the move to the downside. So you see, these are the guidelines that are guiding us. So now you've got a pulsing move. Let's see what we get on gold. If you're gonna get this one to correct, do that and push higher, then our triangle is still gonna be valid. It's still gonna be valid. So let's watch and see what happens. Silver. Silver, let's switch on here. So silver, initially we wanted it to come down to this level. I wanted silver to come to that level. Okay, so now it has reversed without touching it. It's not a trend smash at this stage. one. Let's show we've got a pulsing move on silver. It is the same corrective structure. So this is the move that started gold. Now this is one started silver correction. Okay, so what we are looking for was that this has made a corrective structure, and now we're looking for upside. Okay, so let us see what we get here on silver. This, if we're gonna get this one to be a corrective structure here, pulsing move, correction, something like this, something like that. Then we touch, then we go. Okay, so let's watch what we're gonna get on gold as well and silver. So we're gonna update both of these at the same time. So we just need to see what structure is gonna form there. But for now, you've got a pulsing move in the opposite direction. If you get a corrective structure, you want to look to get in there, just in case this one retests the low here. Okay, that is a corrective structure. It could do that and push higher, or it can come and retest this one here. Let's switch everything off here. Let me show you what I mean here. Clear. Let's go closer. You've got a pulsing move here. This is your move. Now this has made a pulsing move. This can do this and retests here. Comes back and come back down to that level, to the 1350 level that I've been expecting for the longest time, and then push higher. Okay, so let's watch and see what we get there. Sorry guys, I'm gonna be off for 2 minutes here. My network has just gone here. Let's just pause quickly. So that is silver, and that is how we're gonna be looking at silver for it to come and retest the level here. Right, so let's carry on. Let's look at the pound pairs now. Let's look at the pound pairs. Just want to make this a little bit thicker. Now let's start with pound CHF. Pound CHF is similar to pound US dollar, and we have been looking at this structure for both of them to be the same, expanding flat. You see the expanding flat that we looked at on pound US dollar. So that what will tell us how we'll know what the structure is we've got a pulsing move here. We're going to look for it to give us a corrective structure and look for it to go to the downside. But same thing I said on pound US dollar, you need to be careful of this, because there's a possibility that this can just be a continuation pattern and does this. You may get that corrective structure in the lower degree, and it gives you something like this and push higher. Okay, so then that will invalidate this expanding flat, because it will be breaking now the rules. Okay, it will be out of the range that we accept a expanding flat. Okay, let's have a look here. We're still on the daily. So if this is invalidated, same as on pound US dollar, this will be a three-wave structure. There's a possibility that this is a three-wave structure. This one becomes a three-wave structure here, 1, 2, 3. In the lower degree, you get a pullback. You get this one to retest the top there. So that is why you're going to need to wait for this confirmation. So if this now becomes a 1, 2, 3 wave structure, as I'm indicating, then that will be confirming this upside. Okay, then that will make that structure, that will be like a flat correction in the bigger degree now, not just in the smaller degree. Now, here, if this is confirming this structure, you need to get a pulse and a correction. A clear pulse. It has to be a pulsing move here, something similar to that. Okay, that's how clear pound CHF is. Now, pound New Zealand, nothing has changed in terms of the analysis. We've got a pulsing move to the downside. You're getting one of those moves to this is what I showed last week. You've got a 1, 2, 3 wave move up, 1, 2, 3. You've got a 1, 2, 3 wave move back. Now you're expecting the same 1, 2, 3 up. So now this becomes a WXY corrective structure. So that means if you get a corrective structure here on the New Zealand, you're going to get a definite move to complete the Y here before you get this move. Okay, so this is very clear. It is this corrective structure. Now you need to go to the lower time frame and see if you're getting the corrective structure. So you are getting continuation here. Let's see something here. All right, so here you are going to get an almost guaranteed trade. Okay, this is a 4-hour, guys. It's a 4-hour, guys. So it looks like now we can confirm. Looks like we can confirm if you get this corrective structure here and it starts breaking to the upside, you get a clear setup. You're going to rally from current levels to 199. And that will be almost guaranteed if you get this corrective structure, and that will pull the rest of the pound pairs. So you need to watch this one here. It is almost guaranteed, as I've shown also on pound US dollar, then this will be pulling all the pound pairs to that level around the 199 level. Okay. Pound Audi. Pound Audi also looks like still wants to push up. Corrective structure here. Let's see what to get here. A little bit of a push higher. So it looks like we still have the last push to the upside on all the pound pairs. So the pound Audi looks something like this on the higher degree. In the higher degree, this is supposed to have completed here on the retest here, but there's nothing that stops it from pushing a little bit higher. It will still be valid before we drop. So the pound New Zealand setup that is telling us that it's almost guaranteed, clear than the rest of the pound pairs, is showing us that we may have a push up in the pound pairs. Okay, remember we've got those pullbacks on pound US dollar and pullback on pound CHF. It does not mean anything at this stage. So let's watch what happens in the next coming sessions. So pound New Zealand may be pushing higher. Okay, but you need to wait for that confirmation because it is not guaranteed as yet. It will only be guaranteed after the corrective structure and the push and a break to the upside. Okay, so that is pound Audi. Pound CAD. Now pound CAD, let's have a look here. To see what I've done here. All right, so now pound CAD, I'm looking at this now as a move to the upside. This is still a move that we identified. This is still a complex correction here like that. Now we are looking at this move like this. So it's going to be a move to the upside, correction there, and the upside there. It's not actually clear like this. Let's remove everything there. Just want to show this move clearly. Show you now. You have a 3-wave move here with a running flat. 1, 2, 3. All right. And then you've got a 1, 2, 3 up here. That is a move. Then you've got this as a corrective structure. It's a single corrective structure here. 2, 3. Okay, let's remove all of this. Let's remove all of this. Now you've got a 1, 2. Got a 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 back, 1, 2, 3 up. So 1, 2, 3 up, W, 1, 2, 3 back, X, 1, 2, 3, Y. We'll expect this Y to push a little bit higher to complete. Okay. Let's see what happens here. So, but then if there's a possibility that this move is actually complete here on CAD, and then we start dropping. Remember what we're looking at on US dollar CAD. So this one may be driven by the CAD. By the pound, we're looking for them to go upside. So let's see what we get on this structure. Doesn't look like there's any reversal at this stage, but the whole thing will be a corrective structure. Let's see if it's going to be any change. It's not very clear at this stage, pound CAD. Right, let's look at Euro pound. Now Euro pound. Euro pound. Let's get this structure here, you've got a three-wave move down, as you can see in the red degree. You've got a pullback in 3 waves, and now we're looking for this one to make another 3 waves possibly here. Okay, so you've got 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up, 1, so 1, 2, 3 back here, which makes a W. The whole thing becomes an X and then a Y. Let's remove the labeling so it becomes clearer, and also maybe do this one in 3 waves. Then it becomes a lot clearer. 1, 2, 3. So this one becomes W, this one becomes X, regular flat, and then a Y. Expect a pullback and then a move down here. Now the whole thing becomes a corrective structure, and we're going to look for this to push higher when the move to the downside is complete. Okay, so when the pound pair starts falling, then this one should be rising. Okay, that is the structure that you're going to be looking at. Now look for a pullback and a move down for now, because you're expecting the pound pairs to push higher. EURAUD. Now the euros, let's have a look at the euros on the, I'm going to look at them on the daily. So you've got a passing move here, you've got a 1, you've got a 2, you've got what looks like a 3 here. If the euro, there's going to be euro weakness, as I've indicated, that there may be a pullback on the euro, US dollar in the beginning, this pairs may be doing this. They may be doing this in the next coming sessions, making this a 1, 2, 3 wave structure. Same thing with Euro New Zealand. So this is the structure in, let's show this in yellow, 1, corrective structure. This one may start pulling back like this. All right. Euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand. Now, if you look at what, excuse me, if you look what we discussed on, right, so if you look at what we discussed on US dollar CAD, this may be a little bit tricky now because you have Euro New Zealand. This is Euro New Zealand. Let's look at EURAUD once more. Okay, so now looking at EURAUD and what we're looking at here, it looks like that EURAUD, this move is not going to happen here. It looks like it's going to push higher. I'm going to show you why. When you're looking at the analysis here in isolation, it looks like you may just have a correction and then drop. But what I'm looking at on Audi Euro New Zealand is showing me that this may push a little bit higher. I'll wait for a corrective structure here and look for it to push higher. Why am I looking at it like that? That's because EURAUD is showing us some upside. So in Euro New Zealand, remember what we said on US dollar CAD, you've got a pulsing move here, you've got a corrective move. This move cannot go down like that. It's impossible. So now you are going to wait for this to break out of this. You're going to have this trade at least to come and retest the top here. Okay, so watch this corrective structure break out here, and then it can drop. Okay, but as it is now, it cannot go and break below there. It has to break up first and then come back. Exactly the same scenario that I've shown you on US dollar CAD. I can just remind you again quickly. US dollar CAD. Let's switch everything off there. US dollar CAD, we're on the daily now, but let's show it on the 4-hour. When you have something like this, a pulsing move, you've got a corrective structure. This is going to have to push up higher. This move we've been talking about way before it happened. Okay, so that is EURAUD, Euro New Zealand. So you see, it's important to not to trade the market in isolation. If we're just looking at this one alone, if we're just looking at EURAUD alone, this one looked like it was just going to be a corrective structure. It's a pulsing move, corrective structure, and we're coming down. Does not look so, because now we can see clearly that the New Zealand will push us a little bit higher. Okay, New Zealand will push us higher. Even if, remember that we looked at the euros to come down, there's a possibility that we can get one more down here, but after that we're going to get upside. Okay, so one more down is okay, so that will confirm that, okay, that structure on EURAUD can then maybe come down first before we go. See, so there have to be that correlation. If it's coming down, then that should explain the structure on Euro New Zealand as well. If we're gonna get one more down first before we go, because these are correlated and they're supposed to do the same thing. So you see here, you will have this correlation here on this pairs. Let me move this a bit away again. So this is the correlation that you look at. You get one more down on New Zealand and then upside. Okay. Otherwise, if this just goes up from here, then EURAUD will also just push higher. It will also just push higher from there. See, clear correlation, markets are all correlated. EUROCAD. EUROCAD, we saw this one last week that it was going to break to the upside. It's already done so that the rest of the euro pairs should follow it. You've got a passing move here already. Get a corrective structure. At least come back to the 61% of this whole move. That will be your target. Okay, clear on EUROCAD. Right to EUROCHF. EUROCHF, you still had that move to the upside. You can see that this move went up in 3 waves. These are the 3 waves. You've got a regular flat there. So this was a 1, this was a 2, this was a 3. Now you've got a pulsing move down here. Looks like you're going to make another corrective structure here. At this stage, this corrective structure does not exist. It is not a valid one. So let's see what we could have there. So you could have here is, you've got a pulsing move in red. You could have this one in green. 1, 2, this one does this. This one does that, this one does that, and then you get the red degree here, like that. And then you'll get this move. Okay, so that's what you're going to be looking at. You're still going to be within this corrective structure here on EUROCHF. All right, now we can look at some of the cross pairs here. AUDCAD. AUDCAD looks like it's going to break to the upside as well. We're going to have a bit of a push higher. Watch these trades, guys. You're going to get, these are almost definite trades that you're going to get. You've got a pulsing move, you've got a corrective structure. If you get a pulse and a correction, you're going to get these moves. So watch all these moves. AUDCAD also is a pulsing move there. We're still looking at this as a correction. We're still looking at this as a correction. And then we'll look for this to push higher. Okay, it's a pulse, it's a correction. Watch these structures. New Zealand CAD. Oh, sorry, so somebody's complaining about my sound here. Is the sound okay still now? Okay, so New Zealand CAD. You've got a pulse in the opposite direction. Now you've got this corrective structure. It is still premature. I will update this, but I'll be expecting this one to break to the downside before we get any upside on New Zealand CAD. All right. New Zealand CHF. Looking for this one to drop slightly. Drop slightly here. And push higher. Okay. Okay, guys, I think that's all I had for you this week. Just think here, I think there's another one here. This is New Zealand CHF. Let's do AUDCHF as well. Premature, so AUDCHF looking like it's got a pulsing move. Also correction here, coming down here. You need to watch this one to break to the upside. So they're all very clear, these setups on the crosses. Now this is also a corrective structure right at the top here. 3-wave here. Expect this one more up here on this one. That's all I had for you this week, guys. So the video will be available in the next hour or so. Thank you very much for attending. Good luck trading the week ahead. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and the like button if you like the video. Thank you very much. Timestamps will be available as soon as the video is edited. Thank you so much. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.